do you think the whole Three Waters legislation was handled, and are you happy with the outcome?
Well, first and foremost, I had absolute faith in the former Minister of Local Government, Nanaia Mahuta, who did enormous amount of work prior to what she presented. And when I say prior, 4 years leading into her addressing that we want affordable, clean drinking water. It's New Zealand in the 21st century, and we're still struggling with, with some communities having to bore their notices. So very clear on where she landed. Of course, the debate that came back from local leaders, particularly for me, was for entities is just too tight, and we would lose because Hawke's Bay was seen as part of Tairawhiti right down to Wellington and into the top of the South Island. How can we possibly have a say? And, I listened to them and I did advocate for them, but 4 was ultimately because that's what would be affordable for the ratepayer. So we've now changed with our Prime Minister, and we've got a very able minister in Kieran Meka. He's gone out and engaged. He believes that actually we can still achieve affordability for ratepayers by going to 10 entities, which again was not a very good point for a lot of councils not seeing themselves in. So now we've gone out to 10, which means that we will have more entities with what's called a up ramp, that if some communities, 10 entities, think actually we might be better going with our neighbours, and so instead of having 10, we might get down to, 6, 5, 7, whatever they determine. It's all about scale and cost to the ratepayers, and I think that's the critical thing. The co-governance, I think, has been an unnecessary distraction for some New Zealanders, perception that people will get more than others.
What is co-governance?
So if you read the Treaty of Whaitiri, it actually talks about co-governance in the 3 articles. The first one being governance.
So it's the treaty partnership?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it is. And I'm miffed as why people think it's an issue or it's something special, because it's something two peoples founded in this country back in 1840. Yeah. So that's what it is.
And who owns the water, do you think?
Well, it depends on who you ask, because if you look at the treaty again, look at Article 2, it says iwi Māori would have undisturbed possession of their natural resources, which includes water. Yeah. So you would argue under the treaty that Māori do own water. But obviously for some people, governments, successive governments, nobody owns the water. So we can have different views in this country. Māori think they own it, government thinks no one owns it. And other people think maybe somebody else owns it.
What do you think?
I'm a Māori. I follow the Treaty of Waitangi, and that's what was guaranteed by those of my ancestors, and I have ancestors who actually signed the treaty. So I have to believe that they signed it for a purpose and a certain level of guarantees.
So if outright ownership isn't going to be given to Māori, you at least want them at the table having some sort of role in...
And that's what was guaranteed under the work that Nanaia did and Kieran is continuing with, which I'm very pleased for, as is many iwi groups, but also many non-iwi have seen the benefit of co-governance, working in their neighbourhoods, whether it's the Waikato River, whether it's some other assets that we've got co-governance around the country. It doesn't mean takeover, it just means better delivery of something that was promised back in 1840.
Yeah.